I appreciate you. This should work now. There we go. Um, I forgot to turn the sound back on. Okay, now you guys can hear me. I got my little trial run in there, but yeah. So I'm gonna just say all that one more time. Basically, nice to meet you guys. We are the NBA Top Shottaz crew. Welcome to episode 0 of our podcast slash live Twitch show. We are super excited to do this, and basically the plan for today is we wanted to do a little bit of a trial episode. We're going to announce kind of our first real episode, which we're going to do a little bit later in the week. That's going to be a little bit longer, more thought out, more detailed. But for today, we want to introduce ourselves, make sure you guys know who we are, know what NBA Top Shottaz is, start building a following, answering any questions that we can. After we introduce ourselves, we're going to do one live pack opening with a little bit of analysis. That's going to be exciting because it's actually not just a base pack. And then we're going to answer any questions you guys have. We got one or two on our socials. You can see those on the screen there. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We'll answer those. And if you guys have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. If we see any ones that we like, we'll answer as many as we can towards the end. The plan is to keep this about 20 to 30 minutes, real quick, real brief. And then, like I said, we're going to be back live again early in this week. I think the plan is Tuesday night. And Tuesday night we'll be live with a little bit longer episode and potentially some exciting stuff for you guys that are tuning in for us. So with that being said, let's get into introductions here. So once again, we're NBA Top Shottaz. In order from top left, I'm Kevin. We got Justin Baba in the top right, Ali Kumara bottom left, and Kian Nasiri in the bottom right. We're four kind of lifelong friends. We all grew up together. We're from the Bay Area in California. We all went to school growing up together. I think Ali, Kian, and I played soccer together when we were like 5 years old. Baba and I played basketball together for a long time. We've just been really good friends. Diverse set of backgrounds between the four of us, from even like degrees in college, kind of what we're doing now, even like where we work. So we bring a lot to the table. We're all really interested in NBA Top Shots. We got involved pretty early. And we think we have some unique information and insight we can provide you guys with, and hopefully some entertainment. So I'll let you guys all go individually. I can go last and stop talking. So Baba, you want to start us off and introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up? I am Justin, but everybody calls me Baba, so if you hear that, that's who they're referring to. So I'm super into basketball, like the NBA especially. I've played basketball all my life, and now that I'm not really playing competitively, I'll turned most of my attention to just NBA basketball. So like out of the group, I'm probably the most like into just like the NBA culture and stuff like that. And so that's kind of where I'm going to be pulling my analysis from. I also have a background in business, so I'm going to use kind of like my market knowledge and finance knowledge as well, and kind of combine that with my basketball knowledge to help provide you with some great analysis, hopefully.
And the one thing I didn't say is so good intro, and Ali and Keon follow that. But Baba, why don't you tell everyone what the favorite moment you have so far? Maybe not the most valuable, but just your favorite one you've collected, and your most valuable moment that you have currently in your collection. We can all start with
Um,
that.
so yeah, so my favorite moment, I'm gonna start this off by saying that I'm a huge Warriors fan. So my favorite
They
moment
should.
that I have right now is it's probably honestly, it's the Steph three-pointer from last season, the one game he played, or not the one game, but the one game that he played after his like long injury absence. He hit that 1-3 against Toronto, just like a crazy end of the shot clock three. So that's definitely my favorite one. And in terms of my most valuable, um,
Is
I
that
have a
is that one you
couple of
just copped, right? The
huh?
East West Finals one, right?
Yeah, it's probably one of the East West Finals ones. I have a couple of those. I'm a huge Bam Adebayo guy and not Jimmy, Jalen Brown fan. So I have those two. I honestly think Jalen Brown might be better than Tatum in the future. So
All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
hold on to that.
Good take.
we good? I think I lost audio
Keon,
for
you
a
want to go
second.
ahead?
Yeah, go for it, Keon.
Let me go. Hi, boys. What's good? My name's Keon. Uh, Lifelong sports fan. I mean, mostly soccer, but obviously basketball is number two in my repertoire. Um, Justin said, econ background, so I'm just gonna be mostly the meme guy. Uh, but hope to have some insight for you guys as well. But in terms of cards, I think my favorite one, being a Warriors fan as well, I'm gonna go with the James Wiseman. Uh, we're hoping for those 3 badges. We're hoping those are gonna go off for the moon, baby. Most valuable card, probably my East-West Conference Final. There's Western Conference Finals shot. Nikola Jokic, little turnaround fade from the elbow, too clean. You know what it is. Um, but yeah, it's nice to meet you all, and we hope this journey is amazing.
Yes, sir. Ali.
Are you sick?
I'm just quiet.
It's late. It's late. It's late. We got other people in the houses. There you go.
Hey guys, my name's Ali. I have a poli-sci background. I graduated from UC San Diego. If you guys see me engaging with you on the socials, it'll probably be with memes or some sort of banter back and forth. I was working at a startup recently that was similar to Clubhouse, but it failed. So I'm devoting my full attention to.
It specifically wasn't Clubhouse, though. To be clear, it wasn't Clubhouse.
Specifically wasn't Clubhouse. It wasn't Clubhouse. But I have been diving deep in the NFT blockchain rabbit hole, so I will give you guys insight on that. Just a little context: these 3 guys are Warriors fans. I'm the outlier. I'm a Lakers fan, a diehard Kobe fan. So I'm really bullish on that LeBron turnaround 3 shot. I believe that was the first time in his career he's had a turnaround 3. It was also a bet with Schroeder.
Us Warriors fans are used to those. That's nothing new. That's not new. LeBron's not cool for that.
LeBron's really cool.
Like a biter, honestly.
If you guys want any, I'll be giving you all the Lakers advice. I do think we have the best fan base, local and globally. So be sure to check out our cards. I think those are the best moments you could buy. But I did like Keon stick with the Wiseman.
Bay Area doesn't claim it. Bay Area don't claim it.
Bay Area don't claim me, man. I'm also really big on picking up a lot of international cards, looking at countries that are adopting blockchain and just like crypto technology, and trying to see what players in the league fit that kind of background. So that'll be my kind of insight, and I'm gonna pass it over to Big Kev up top.
Yeah, I'll close it out. I'm Kevin. I graduated December of 2018 from Santa Clara University. I'm a finance major, so my background's in finance. I spent a couple years doing finance. I currently work in sales. I'm a big Warriors fan from the Bay as well. Just a big sports guy in general. I got into Top Shot because of Ali and Justin, so I owe a lot of this to them. They're the ones that kind of pushed me towards it. They got in like 3 days earlier, and somehow their collections are worth way more than mine already. So I'm trying to do a little catch up here. But in terms of cards, I probably would have said my Wiseman one's my favorite because I have the same rookie card. But I'm gonna flip it. My favorite one outside of that one's my Iggy one. I have an Andre Iguodala from the finals last year. It's a Series 1. Us Warriors fans claim him. I think all of us wanted the Heat to win because we hate the Lakers and because of Iggy. So I love Iggy. He's awesome. He's such a good guy. So it's great to have a finals moment of his. My most valuable card, I think it's actually the common Luka that's been going around in all of the most recent base set packs. But I managed to pull serial 396 out of 15,000. So I pulled a real low serial number Luka that I'm hoping that may be one of the ones they shift to LE and that would just skyrocket. But I think low serial number Lukas are pretty much always going to be pretty valuable on here. I don't think you can go wrong with the guy's going to be one of the superstars in the league for the next handful of years.
Lowest ask on that is like $100.
Yeah, no, the lowest one's already pretty expensive. And we aren't even that's, like I said, the highest serial number there. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to ask you guys, but I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to... Oh, that's what we want to do. So that's kind of what we are, and I think most of you guys in here probably know what we're talking about, but the plan is actually to throw these podcasts on YouTube as well. And in case we get any interest from people who don't know what NBA Top Shot is, or if any of you in the chat don't know what NBA Top Shot is, I'll give a really brief introduction. I think there's people way better than me that can explain it to you, and I'm not going to waste a bunch of time explaining it. But what NBA Top Shot basically is, and what we're going to spend the bulk of this podcast going forward talking about is, it is what NBA Top Shot is basically what's called an NFT, a non-fungible token, and it's all centered in the National Basketball Association. So it's essentially trading cards in the digital world, all based on cryptocurrency. So instead of owning a physical card that has a picture of a player with a bunch of their stats, you can instead own a bunch of highlights. Highlights can be assists, threes, steals, blocks from any player from any game that are printed by a company called Dapper Labs that's in partnership with the NBA and the NBPA, the Players Association. Um, and they basically print a select amount of highlights of each player. So, for example, like if you look at like a Luka highlight, that one I was just talking about, there's 15,000 of those in circulation and climbing. So, from a supply and demand perspective, that one might not be worth a Luka one that only has 300 in demand because collectors naturally like they like things that are scarce, right? So scarcity is kind of the name of the game here. But ultimately, what we're talking about when we're talking about all these things is we're talking about digital trading cards that exist on blockchain. So ownership is never going to be a question. It's all decentralized. There's no corporation that you're entrusting your money with that you can buy and sell in this digital marketplace. And so what's really cool about all you guys being involved in this right now, why we're so excited about it and so kind of bullish on this going forward, is that it's still in beta and we're still really, really, really early on this journey. We've done a couple elementary kind of data analysis and some polling and some gathering of insight, and something like 80 to 85% of even the most diehard NBA fans still have no idea what this stuff is. So if you just think about this as purely an economic supply and demand equation, right now the demand is astronomically low compared to what we think it will be in even the next couple of months, right? As more players start to endorse this. I mean, there's already been a big push towards decentralization with some of the Robinhood stuff. I mean, Mark Cuban was talking about it today. Like, there's going to be a pretty steep incline here where we're going to see the demand really spike, I think. Thanks. Yeah, I see someone in the chat says there's about 40K users right now. If you think about the market cap of the NBA, there's like 1 billion NBA fans, and that's not an exaggeration. Worldwide, it is a giant market. So getting in the beta so early and some of these rare and limited cards right now is projects to be super, super profitable. And that's why we've kind of devoted some time and some energy and some intention to this, to try to analyze it and see if we can't kind of beat the market a little bit and get in early and kind of cash in on a lottery ticket. So that's a super quick explanation. Like I said, there's way better people than me that can teach you more about it. I encourage you to do some Googling, do some research. But if you have no idea what it is, go make an account. NBA Top Shot, get in there right now. Try and buy your first pack, buy your first moment. Get in there now. Tell your friends about it. Tell everyone about it, because it projects to have some huge upside for those of you that get in early. And I don't even know if we got in early enough. I wish I could have gotten in a month earlier than I did. So anything you guys want to add in terms of what this is, kind of a brief intro to it?
No, I think that's good. I think just as we go through this pod, I think in general, we're going to touch on a lot more topics and just explain it as we kind of go through and learn ourselves. So I think that's a great explanation.
Yeah. One thing to add, I think that we were listening to the Clubhouse with Rohan and a couple of the NFT guys with the community, and Gen Z is already kind of on this, like with FIFA Ultimate Team or 2K Ultimate Team. It's the same concept. You're opening packs, instantaneous reward. So the feel and the love for that, plastic card is, I think, gone. Like, that's a very quote unquote boomer thing now, to have, hoarding a shit ton of cards. Now, we're in the digital age. They're in your pocket wherever you go.
Yeah, and NFTs aren't new either, which is crazy. That's even the crazy thing about it, right? Is that, I mean, there have been proven other companies and marketplaces just like Top Shot that sell. I mean, even Dapper Labs, the company that hosts this, their first entry into this was a thing called Crypto Kitties, which still exists. You can go buy literally like little Webkins cats, and they're the same idea, like different breeds and different accessories are like different levels of scarcity. And there were Crypto Kitties selling for like 6 figures a couple years ago. This is basically the best possible version of that, because you're combining all these people that love crypto and love this NFT idea and this kind of scarcity marketplace with this enormous, I mean, maybe the most influential brand in the world in the NBA. I mean, there might not be an organization that has a bigger worldwide following than the NBA, maybe soccer. But either way, it's a really, really good pairing, and I think there's reason to be optimistic. So that's definitely a good point. But yeah, and I think that there's some lingo that we're going to use, like we've said, like CC, LE, packs, things like that. You'll kind of pick up on what they are. We won't go into too much depth on that. But I promise that if you guys kind of join us on this journey, we are pretty confident that it's going to be pretty productive and lucrative for anyone who chooses to get involved. So yeah, I think that's a good intro to us, to Top Shot, just in general. Do you guys want to do a kind of one little pack opening and analysis before we answer some questions and leave these guys?
Yep, let's get it.
All right, I've been talking too much.
Pack, right?
I'm gonna actually open the pack. So I think we're gonna do more of these, but what's kind of unique is that I wasn't early enough to get a guaranteed one, but I actually won the Cool Cats raffle. So I got my pack today. Keon did as well, but he opened his. He was too excited. I've been talking too much though, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open my Cool Cat pack, and I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like. And then I'm gonna let these three guys kind of give their thoughts on it. I'm gonna kind of stay out of the way and just open these cards one at a time. So let's do this really quick. Make sure that shifts over. All right, awesome. All right, so let's go in here. Let's go to packs and let's open. I hope
Rubber
this is
Band
working.
Man 22 played against Steph in college. That's pretty neat.
Ooh, all right.
Awesome.
God, I'm actually nervous. I was excited for this. I was annoyed because the prices
for you, and this isn't even my pack.
The prices dropped so sharply over the last like 6 hours. I was almost gonna sell like right away, but I'm gonna hold for a little bit. All right, let's get into it. We get to hear the little music that they play. I hope it's not too loud.
Oh, the music blasts.
Oh, actually, the music might be just through my ears. All right. Which one we want first? Keon?
AMC.
Keon, pick one of these. Hello?
Kev, go top left.
Top left. We're on number 1 first. All right, go for it. 76ers common. Okay. So we got Joel, base set 2 here.
Well, Embiid.
4K out of 14,000. Baba, what are your thoughts here?
I like it.
That is a beautiful card, honestly.
It's a good start. I think.
I'm a believer in Joel Embiid. I'm a believer in the Sixers right now. I think last year and just all the previous years, honestly, that team, that organization was just mismanaged. Bringing in Daryl Morey, huge boost to Joel Embiid. I think surrounding him with all the shooters they have, like he's not even at his potential right now. Seth Curry's been out with COVID for seems like ages now, just in top shot days. When he gets back, Joel's just gonna have even more space, and he's tearing it up from all parts of the court. Like he's looking like the potential MVP that he was drafted to be out of college.
I will take an MVP as the first card.
And it's a long-term hold, especially if this card gets converted to LE. This card is going to go crazy as long as he like remains at the pace that he's going and can stay healthy. I think that's the main thing for him. He's pretty injury prone.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I
like that card a lot. I like the Tiger response too at the end.
I think he's the betting favorite now to win MVP. So I will take that as base card number 1. I mean, that by itself probably pays for this pack on its own. And I mean, that's kind of the moral of the story here, everyone, is if you're unsure of what's going on, this pack costs $14, and I bet this card, if I looked at it, which maybe I will after, I bet it sells for $25 without question, and you just made your money back and you got 4 more to open. So I can't emphasize enough how lucrative this has the potential to be. Birdzilla said bottom right, so I'm going to go with that one. All right, let's go. You guys good for the next one?
Yeah. Just to also answer, I'm going to say Bucket Bean. I'm not too sure what the name is, but yeah, cards are converted LE on random.
Yeah. All right.
But there are certain events that could trigger a conversion to LE. It could be converted to LE by that player being traded. So for example, say if Joel Embiid was traded to another team, that one would immediately capped, and they would start probably producing another card from his new team. And then there's a few other ways, but yeah, it's pretty random, and they do it without announcement. I think these ones that got capped at 12,000 a few days ago, they were capped in the middle of the night, and nobody knew about it.
Everyone was waiting for a pack drop, and the guy was like, no pack drops, but maybe something else in their little Discord chat, and then it ended up being this. All right, this was card number 2. We don't have to spend too long on it. It's not, I mean, Eric Bledsoe, it's a common. But the one thing I will say to keep in mind about this is I think they already talked about they have a badge or I think it's just a set of for the win plays. And this is a for the win play. This block was basically to seal the game. They're up by 3, and this block basically sealed the game. So I'm wondering if there's potential for them to take some plays like that, like some buzzer beaters and stuff like that, give them a badge retroactively and maybe spike the price of that. So that might be an interesting one to just hold because I don't know how much it's worth right now and there's a chance it might go up a little bit. Just something to keep in mind. As Capo, top right, I'm down for that
Right.
one. Also, I've been told that the first card is $12. Is that the lowest ask right now? Because I bet that Serial 4000 goes for a little bit more, but either way, like I said, $12, one card, make your money back, and then you got 4 free rolls, and I haven't even opened the rare card yet. Okay, top right, let's do it. I'm not loving it. Fultz,
Who's
okay.
Yaz Daddy in the chat? Is that you, Yazan?
Probably. Okay, Markel Fultz, 6,000 out of 15,000. Nothing to get too excited about here. Maybe there's some upside if he comes back from injury, but I mean it's a bummer that he's hurt. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I will say this is probably a good card to hold. I mean, it's not like his value is going to drop any lower than it is right now. He's got a torn ACL. Those are selling for $2 according to Satan, probably.
Yeah,
right?
he's our market
$2,
guy right
yeah,
now.
If it's going for $2, the downside, hold on to it. I think he's still got a lot of potential as long as he can heal from his ACL tear.
Yeah,
I think we're in a good spot to hold that.
yeah. Not a lot of worth in selling for $2 anyway. It'll pretty much always be at about $2 at the very worst. So, I saw top middle. God, you guys make me wait to open the Cool Cats card. My rare one's at the end. Let's see if this is it. Maybe a layup from the Zion. Oh, that's it. That's the LE. That's the Zion LE layup.
Ooh,
Okay.
Ooh,
Now we're
that's
talking.
nice.
go.
This is a card right here. I think I already have one of these too. This is my second one. I have a
Card.
I have a high serial and this one. I will take a Zion LE. Now we're talking about the money makers, everyone. We still need to open the rare one. Zion and Luca, I think, are the future of this. Zion, Luca, and all the old heads like the LeBrons that maybe are going to retire out and just be just like legends. I just don't think you can go wrong. We will take an LE though.
Dude, that's minimum lowest ask a hundo.
That's probably what this is
pretty
going
nice.
for too, because it's, I mean it's a real high LE. But I have another one of these that I'm fired up about. That's like I think it's serial number 1500 too. So now if I want to maybe sell this one high for another card, I can keep one just in case it skyrockets. But all right, so this is gonna be my Cool Cats rare card. I want everyone to know that I looked it up, and the Devin Booker number 1 serial number was still in a pack when I got mine. So that's kind of what I'm feeling like this card might be. Devin Booker serial number, jersey number 1 might be like a $25,000 card. So let's see if we get a little lucky here. Okay. The Derrick Jones Jr. card. All right, not bad, not bad. So for those of you that aren't aware, this is a pack from what's called the Cool Cats Challenge, which basically a normal pack gives you 3 base set moments. This gives you 4 base set moments and 1 moment from the Cool Cat set. So this was my rare card from the Cool Cat set. The Cool Cat set are all limited to 5,000. That's why they have the 5,000 serial number. I think Derrick Jones Jr. is probably the least expensive, least kind of pricey of the 5. But I mean, the fact that they're giving you a rare card like that for $14, you can never really go wrong with it.
Also, that block is filthy.
Yeah,
Oh my
and the fact-
yeah. Card was one of the ones that skyrocketed earlier. I think
Yeah.
that actually was costing more than the deep book for a second.
Yeah, the fact it's on LeBron, just getting LeBron in the highlights always nice too. All right, so if we go back through, it's one of the most expensive because LeBron's in it. I love that. I like this guy Satan probably. He's my friend. So yeah, I mean, you guys have heard it enough. I think you guys are all Top Shot fans, but if you just do the math here, again, this is why these packs, like not these, but just packs in general, are the reason why this has such a big opportunity. This was $14, and this is $345, $350. I mean, you're looking at like $350 if you wanted to sell right now, and that's assuming that nothing appreciates. So again, I don't think we can emphasize enough that you guys should come along with us on this journey. Let us help guide you if you have questions, and hopefully make something, make a little money for yourself, and also collect some cool stuff because some of these I'm for sure keeping. But all in all, I will take this pack
Good luck making
anytime.
friends, baby.
Anytime you get a Zion LE,
It's a solid pack.
a Zion LE, one of the more expensive rare ones, and just a Joel common. You can't ask for much more. It's nothing like Baba's Cool Cats pack, but we'll live.
Sorry you don't have a 400 LE Steph.
Yeah,
But next time.
we don't all get lucky, I guess. All right, I love that. Okay, let's go back here. So that was kind of pack opening and analysis 10 or number one. Again, we want to keep this one short and sweet. I think in the future we'll probably hopefully have some more like streams where all we do is we do some analysis. We open up some extra packs, multiple of us open packs. We don't just do mine. We can have some fun with that. I'll give you a Luca for that Zion LE right now. Nah, the LE's too expensive or too nice. I got to keep the limited ones. But I think the plan is to do a lot more streams where we do some of that stuff. That was just kind of a little taste for this intro stream, and hopefully get some content out there and give you guys something to watch and kind of interact with. Shout out to you guys for hyping up my Zion card because I needed that. But I think we can get into a little bit of Q&A and we can answer some questions here if people have them. So if you guys want to drop any questions in here, either about Top Shot, about us, just kind of about anything, we're happy to answer as best we can. I think in terms of like what we got on socials, I think we can just start with that one. I'll let you guys answer, but someone asked, what's the worst card you could possibly buy right now?
So I don't think there is one, honestly. I think every card right now that is available pretty much is gonna go up in value. That's like at some point. Like we're so early. Like we cannot emphasize that enough. Like all of these cards, like if you compare this to actual trading cards, those brands like Topps and Prism, they print hundreds of thousands of these versions of cards. These cards are currently capped at like 12,000, 15,000 plus. Like it's insane what the potential is of this whole platform, this virtual trading card, trading card, I guess. Whatever, yeah, it's gnarly.
Moments, yeah.
Moments.
I don't think it's gonna flop, especially with the NBA tied to it. They're the most forward progressive. Looking to be probably the biggest sport in the next 50 years, like almost compared to soccer, in terms of just like popularity and global reach. This is going to be insane. And like we said, living the digital age. 40,000 users right now. We're set if we go on this journey, and I think that all of us should together as the Top Shottaz community.
Yeah, baby.
It's going to be epic.
We're all going to Vegas in 10 years. We're running out the whole Bellagio when we're all so rich from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Also, just to add to that, I don't think there is a bad card you can buy. Even if you're picking up around the $1 to $2 range, they usually appreciate in value. Just from my experience, I've been picking up some cards around like the $2 to $3 range and flipping them for 10. But with that, I would say just buy up enough to where you could kind of dictate the market value, kind of manipulate it a bit. So, pick up like four to five cards of like the $2 to $3 guys and try to sway who you think is going to be good. So
yeah,
there is no bad card you can buy in theory. Just like kind of do your due diligence, do some research, and like see who you like, and also just like trust your intuition. And don't be afraid to buy players you genuinely like. They'll just be more value for you in the platform and your experience in Top Shot.
Yeah, and more fun. I do want to say really quickly. I know we've been talking about this a lot and like the money stuff, but this is not like without risk, and I want to make sure that's very clear to everyone. Like, number one, it can be difficult to pull money out of here. Don't put money in here that you're not willing to lose. And number two, like these are kind of very, very volatile in the sense that the money that we're talking about that you can get for these cards is dictated purely by demand, right? There's no like fundamental underlying value on it. So while we all are super bullish and super committed and invested in this and think it's going places, do not be stupid and do your research before you start to invest money. We should make that very clear as a disclaimer that there is, of course, risk with stuff like this. We're just super excited about the prospect because we think that it has real potential. With that said, I actually think that maybe that Markelle Fultz card isn't a very good one to buy right now, the one that I just pulled, because he's not exactly playing anytime soon, and they aren't going to stop printing those, but that's for another time. Really quickly, we got a couple here, and one that's just good to ask is somebody did say they just found out about what NBA Top Shot is yesterday. They don't know what CC or LE means, and that's a simple one and might come up later. Basically, M Gabio and anyone else. If you look, and I'll show you this right now. If you look at, so like this right here is these are moments. So these are the cards we're talking about. When we say cards, we really mean moments. It's hard to break that habit, but moments is the right word. So you can see when it shows the count and the serial number that you have out of how many, it says CC next to it. If it says CC, it means that the count may change. It means that they're still printing these and that this 15,000, like actually Eric Redlow's a good example, this 15,000 3 days ago was 12,000 and they printed 3,000 more. So what this means is that the count may change, that these may become less rare. So in general, if you can, CC cards are usually lower value unless it's a really premium player because you never know how they might end up with 20,000. There might be 250,000 of these cards, right? And the more cards there are, inevitably, the less value there is, right? An LE card is what's called limited edition. It means the count is final. So they might print another Derrick Jones Jr. card, a different highlight or the same highlight, but they'll never print another card that has this same Cool Cats logo with the same block from the same day. This 5,000 is fixed, which is why LE cards, limited edition, are more expensive because scarcity is the name of the game here. And if you know there's only ever going to be 5,000 of these, you aren't going to have a chance to get one later on down the line, right? You're just going to be stuck trying to get one of the 5,000 that currently exist. So basically, LE means limited edition, no more are going to be printed. CC means that they're still printing more, and that the total number of that moment may increase in the future. I hope that answered your question.
I think you should answer this. How much do you think O'Reilly's impacted on non-court players?
Yeah. So D-Man Junior 76 asked, how much do you think card value is impacted by on-court play? Baba?
I think game to game, not a ton, unless it's like some insane game.
Maybe
But I
maybe
think,
subtle spikes
you
too,
know,
like up a couple bucks here and there for sure.
yeah, like maybe the Westbrook game that he had today, whatever, 41 something and something.
Yeah, like
Like
Dame's game
that'll
winner.
definitely, yeah, especially and the game winner, like that'll bump him for sure. But yeah, in general, on-court play is important, but I wouldn't go buying game to game or even maybe like week to week. Kind of see how it's trending over a longer period of time before basing it purely off just his play.
Yeah, I
would say
agree.
the market's pretty manipulated right now with hype. So like Cuban posted that article today, and then you saw a spike in Mavericks players. I think the market's just so volatile and early right now. You could have influencers kind of dictate the pricing for a lot of players. So that could be more of a factor in my opinion than game to game play. But I listed a couple Damian Lillards yesterday, and then Bob and I noticed some traction for that, and I think they both sold for $16. So that's just like one occurrence, like a buzzer beater. You probably see just more traction on a particular player, but yeah, I think Bob hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. I mean, in general, I mean, same's true for trading cards, right? Like people want to buy the good players, and that's not necessarily short term; it's long term. So guys that win MVPs, guys that go to the playoffs, guys that win titles, they're the ones that people want. Like there's a reason why LeBron's more valuable than, I don't know, Maxi Kleber or something like that, right? LeBron's just better. He's more in demand. He's a bigger face. But again, keep in mind, this is purely market demand. So just instead of thinking about which players are good, think about which players are popular, because ultimately popularity is kind of the biggest driving factor behind these cards. I'd say popularity and limit and the circulating count. Okay, let's do a couple more, and then we'll probably cut it off in 5 or so minutes here. Yaz Daddy asked.
Can I answer this one, Kevin?
You want to answer this one? Yeah. How high do you think the ceiling for Top Shot is at the moment?
Well, it's very high. I think that, like I said earlier, a billion or so, and even Kevin said earlier, a billion or so NBA fans, you got to assume that a lot of them are going to want to be, doing even the littlest amount of trading on here, buying or selling, in the future. So ceiling, I think, is limitless at this point. But I kind of wanted to go down to this question right here. Phase. This phase guy, do you think this platform will be around when players retiring this year make it to the Hall of Fame? While we were watching listening to the Clubhouse with the CEO of Dapper Labs, I think it's important to note that the platform itself doesn't necessarily have to be around at that point. 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years in the future. I think the point is that once they completely decentralize this, the blockchain, and Dapper has kind of let it loose and they've worked out all the kinks, I think that just like any other collectible item, when the time comes, you can sell it on any platform, whether that be Top Shot itself or eBay or an auction site. So I wouldn't worry too much about whether the platform itself is here or not. I think just getting in early and making cool purchases will be enough to satisfy your long-term gains if that's what you're trying to get to.
Just to add to that, there's that tweet from Greg last week, basically mentioning the marketplace for Top Shop. It was pulling in 125K daily in merchandise or traded merch, equating to roughly like 1.8 billion per year, making it the fastest growing marketplace ever. So that's a pretty high ceiling for Top Shop, just with like the data we've seen already. And then Kevin mentioned it earlier in the pod, just kind of NBA fans globally, and they haven't even heard about NBA Top Shop. So that analysis was kind of given just the current marketplace. So the sky really is the limit. I'm going to quote Dogecoin saying it's to the moon, but this is realistically to Mars or something greater. There's a lot of potential in this platform. There's a lot of potential with Dapper Lab creating the Flow blockchain as well. So there really is no saying where this could grow, but I'm really optimistic that this can be a great platform.
Yeah, I echo everything they said. And I think the other thing that's super cool is you can go look at circulation and kind of daily traded, I forget the exact term, basically the amount of money that's spent daily on transactions of all NFTs. So everything that's just like Top Shop, instead of buying NBA moments, you're buying artwork or you're buying a fake cat or whatever. And in like 3 months of being live, basically, Top Shot's already well at the top of the list. So there are other like things that have been around for a couple years now that have kind of existed through it all. And they've had their waves of like hype and no hype and kind of spikes in prices and stuff, but Top Shot's already kind of passing and exceeding those. So, all right. So maybe let's answer one more quick question. We appreciate all the ones coming in about specific cards and things like that. I would say in general, hold unless... I think the only reason you should sell a card right now is if it's to enable you to buy another card. So like I think selling a card because there's a card you want to target's a good idea, but I think that in general, keeping money in the platform in general with the appreciation that we're expecting is probably smart. One more question. Let's see. How about this one? How do you guys feel? Ken, I think your mic has some feedback, by the way.
Yeah, Ken, your mic.
There you go. Runner Bandman said, speaking of the Fultz moment and him being hurt, how do you guys feel about getting a Clay moment and that caliber player even though he's hurt? Think it would be valuable. I'll just say yes. I think, again, popularity is a huge thing. I think Clay might be an outlier because Clay's like probably the second most, maybe the most popular player in the league. Like he's just beloved by all fans. Like Ali doesn't even like the Warriors and Ali loves Clay. So I think that Clay might be an exception to the rule, but I think in general, hurt players aren't necessarily like hard stops or sells. If anything, one of the things that Baba kind of mentioned is that what'll sometimes happen in the market is people will kind of forget about players. So like Baba was able to make a pretty good play on Jaren Jackson Jr. right before he came back from injury because people kind of just forgot about him, were listing their moments for cheap, and then as soon as he came back, had a couple highlights or he showed up on Twitter or whatever, his moments kind of shot up in value. So there's almost reason to think that those ones are only going to get more valuable, specifically when they come back from injury. Like I can already imagine a Clay return game bringing a ton of value to a card of his if they do print one from like last year or something like that. Wait, he didn't even play last year, 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, just right too. Jaren Jackson hasn't played yet, so I'm still holding that and waiting for that to shoot up. But yeah, that's the strategy, I think. I mean, and don't just go buy every injured player also just because I said I did that for this one player.
Yeah,
I actually just I think do your analysis. I think Jaren Jackson's really good. So if I think he was undervalued because he hasn't played and he's injured, so that's why I bought him. Don't just go buy an injured player because you think or his value isn't where he should be. Like do your research, and if you think he's a good player, then best and
Dive in.
hope he comes back from his injury and plays well.
Dive in. Absolutely.
Dive in.
All right, I think that's probably a good ending point. We've been live for 40 minutes, which is longer than I thought it went, but it just felt kind of natural to keep going. Birdzilla, I see he's asking if we have a Discord. The plan is actually to create one and to make one kind of for our little community. We wanted to kind of see how much traction we got, and it wasn't going to be worth it if we only had a couple people. But I mean, we already had honestly more viewers than we were expecting. I think there were 20 to 30 of you guys in here for the most part, and most of you guys stuck it out, so we really appreciate it. So I'd say follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and we should have some news on that. And then on a Discord going forward for some of you guys in this little mini community, because the Top Shot Discord can for sure be stressful and chaotic. Ali, do you want to do a quick announcement about some of the plans for the near future before we sign off?
Yes. So you guys, thank you guys so much for listening in, especially to our first podcast. For that reason, we'll be having a special player giveaway. And we'll be announcing it during our next podcast Tuesday at 10 p.m. So that's February the 2nd, and we'll give you guys some analysis on that day as well. We're hosting the podcast after all the NBA games wrap up, and we haven't decided what player to give away yet, but it's gonna be a pretty good one. So thank you guys for tuning in, and then I'll be sure to send out a tweet. And just retweet, give us a follow, and we'll enter you guys in a raffle, and we'll announce the winner of the raffle on that pod.
I think the only thing to add is that I think we are going to have at least some sort of a incentive where if we hit a certain threshold of likes and retweets, then we'll raffle off the player, right? So we'll try and get some engagement that way. But definitely we appreciate the support, and we have some plans to give back to you guys a little bit, especially the early adopters that are with us on day 0 of the journey, as we're gonna hopefully keep getting better at this and have some fun with it.
And in addition, to add, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, like any feedback that you have would be great. We're just trying to put out content that will make you guys happy. It'll help you guys in your Top Shot journey. So feel free to send us a DM on Instagram, Twitter. You see our handles right there at the bottom left or right. Yeah, any feedback we would greatly appreciate.
Yeah, we're gonna try and be a little differentiate as well from some of the other Top Shot. I know there's some content people out there, and there's some people that are doing some stuff, and we're gonna try and bring some unique things to you guys, some unique analysis, some unique talking points and conversations. So we're excited. Any ideas you guys have is great. We're here to, like Baba said, support you guys. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking with us, and hopefully we see some familiar names on Tuesday. You guys got anything else before we sign off? All right.
Tell your friends, tell your family.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody.
Follow us on Insta, follow us on Twitter. We appreciate you guys. Hope you guys had some fun, and we will see you in a couple days. All right, later, fellas.
Later, guys. Thank you.
Peace.